The murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, the Gypsy Rose case. Dee Dee Blanchard and her daughter Gypsy Rose were known in Springfield, Missouri as a devoted mother-daughter pair, dealing with extraordinary hardship. Dee Dee claimed Gypsy suffered from a long list of debilitating illnesses such as leukemia, muscular dystrophy, epilepsy and seizures, severe asthma, intellectual disabilities and wheelchair-bound paralysis. She also claimed Gypsy had the mental capacity of a 7-year-old due to a supposed chromosomal disorder. Gypsy was homeschooled and frequently in and out of hospitals. Dee Dee appeared as the ultimate selfless mother, caring for her medically fragile daughter day and night, attending charity events, and even being gifted a Habitat for Humanity house, trips to Disney World, and meeting celebrities. The two were featured in news articles, and local communities rallied around them with fundraisers and gifts. In reality, Gypsy wasn't sick at all. She could walk, she could eat normal food, and her mental capacities were far beyond what Dee Dee told people. Dee Dee was suffering from a severe case of Munchausen syndrome by proxy MSBP, which is a mental health disorder in which a caregiver fabricates or induces illness in someone under their care. For attention, sympathy, or control, Dee Dee manipulated doctors, forcing unnecessary medical treatments on Gypsy, including multiple surgeries, daily medication regimens, use of a feeding tub, tooth extractions, and seizure medication she didn't need. She shaved Gypsy's head to maintain the illusion of chemotherapy. And if Gypsy ever spoke out, Dee Dee threatened her, withheld food, beat her, and told her no one would ever believe her. Gypsy was trapped in a web of abuse, physically, psychologically, and emotionally. She was essentially held prisoner by her mother, with no schooling, no friends, and no freedom. For years, Dee Dee was forcing Gypsy to take medications she didn't need, confined her to a wheelchair, lied to doctors, kept her isolated, and told her she would die if she tried to escape. As Gypsy grew older and began to realize the extent of the deception, she rebelled. In 2013, she secretly created a Facebook account and met Nicholas Godejohn, a man with developmental disorders and a violent streak. For almost 2 years, they communicated primarily online through Facebook, messaging apps, and text. Their relationship became increasingly intense and fantasy-driven. They shared dark roleplay and disturbing fantasies. Whilst trying to plan ways of escaping Dee Dee's control, Gypsy would eventually convince Nicholas to do the unthinkable. It was the night of June 9, 2015, in Springfield, Missouri. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and her online boyfriend, Nicholas Godejohn, had been planning this moment for months. Dee Dee Blanchard was asleep in her pink-painted bedroom in the small house provided by Habitat for Humanity. That night, Gypsy let Nicholas into the house while her mother slept. Gypsy quietly unlocked the front door for Nicholas and handed him a knife, duct tape, and gloves, items they had purchased earlier. She then hid in the bathroom, covering her ears so she wouldn't hear what would happen next. She later said, "I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to be part of it. I couldn't bear it." Nicholas had entered Dee Dee's bedroom with the knife. Dee Dee was asleep, completely unaware. He climbed on top of her and stabbed her repeatedly in the back, 17 times according to the autopsy. One of the wounds sliced through her spinal cord, likely killing her quickly, though she may have been conscious for a few moments. Nicholas later said in interviews that he felt excited and believed he was fulfilling a twisted romantic fantasy with Gypsy. He admitted to having dark impulses and described the act in chilling, emotionless terms. Nicholas and Gypsy had sex in Gypsy's bedroom just after the murder, a disturbing act that prosecutors pointed to as proof of premeditation and psychological detachment. The two cleaned the knife, changed clothes, and packed up Dee Dee's money, which was about $4,000 in cash from her Social Security. They left Dee Dee's body on the bed, covered with a blanket. Then before leaving, they mailed the murder weapon back to Nicholas's home in Wisconsin in a padded envelope, an ill-conceived attempt to avoid getting caught traveling with it. The next day, they boarded a Greyhound bus and traveled over 500 miles to Wisconsin, where they stayed at Nicholas's house with his parents for several days, acting like a newlywed couple. Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Nicholas Godejohn were caught by police just days after the murder of Dee Dee Blanchard, largely due to a shocking Facebook post that led authorities straight to them. After the murder, Gypsy and Nicholas decided to publicly announce Dee Dee's death. They logged into the joint Facebook account that Dee Dee and Gypsy had shared and posted, "That bitch is dead." It was a deliberate attempt to draw attention to the crime and ensure Dee Dee's body would be found. But it backfired. Friends and neighbors immediately grew concerned. They knew Dee Dee would never speak that way, and they were especially worried about Gypsy's safety, assuming she had been kidnapped or worse. So concerned neighbors called the police, who conducted a welfare check on the Blanchard home in Springfield, Missouri. Police found the front door locked but entered the home with the help of neighbors, and inside they discovered Dee Dee's decomposing body, stabbed multiple times, in her bedroom with no sign of Gypsy, her wheelchair, or her medications. The house was in disarray, but there was no sign of forced entry. Fearing Gypsy had been abducted, police launched a missing persons investigation. Police traced the IP address of the disturbing Facebook post, and it led them to a location in Big Bend, Wisconsin, the home of Nicholas Godejohn and his parents. From the moment the Facebook post went up, it took less than 48 hours for police to pinpoint the location. Authorities coordinated with local police in Wisconsin and raided Godejohn's home. There, they found Gypsy Rose, alive and well. She was not sick or in a wheelchair. Also, Nicholas Godejohn, who quickly confessed to the murder in police interviews. The murder weapon was also recovered that had been mailed to Nicholas's house by the couple, and evidence of their online communications and planning of the murder. News of the arrest stunned the public, especially when they saw Gypsy walking unassisted, speaking clearly, and showing no signs of illness. It was the first major clue that the story everyone had believed for years was a lie. The shocking truth behind Dee Dee's abuse changed public perception of Gypsy from a fugitive to a victim. She pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Nicholas was given a life sentence. Gypsy has since spoken from prison with remorse for the crime, but relief at being free from her mother's abuse. She has said, chillingly, "I feel freer in prison than I ever did with her." She is scheduled for parole eligibility in December 2025 and has expressed a desire to live a normal life whilst advocating for abuse survivors. Please share your thoughts in the comment section below, and remember to like and subscribe for more captivating true stories.